Well, all right, everybody. So we are back with TEW 9, the War of Immortals saves with the WWF Classics. We are about to run the April 5th episode of WWFC Superstars. So last week we had a pre-show match where the Big Boss Man, the Islanders, and the Nasty Boys defeated George Steele, the Killer Bees, and the Natural Disasters. We had Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura run down our card. We had a six-man tag with the Honky Tonk Man, Mr. Perfect, Bam Bam Bigelow defeating Lex Luger and Demolition. Andre cut a promo saying that he's tired of Big John Studd and he's going to toss him out of the WWFC. Then we had a tag team match with Andre and Rugged Ronnie Garvin taking on Big John Studd and the Natural Butch Reed. Then we had our best promo ever in the whole series with Jake the Snake challenging Randy the Macho Man Savage to a Pick Your Poison this week. So we'll see both of them having a Pick Your Poison match this week. Then we had the Road Warriors take on the Midnight Express. The New Horsemen have now laid out their challenge to War Games. Arn defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Harley Race is trying to turn face. Then we had an 8-man tag team match between the Rougeaus and Money Inc. and Strike Force and the Fabulous Freebirds. We had Mr. Perfect make it clear that Lex Luger just does not stand a chance against him because he's absolutely perfect. Then we had the Macho King and Paul Orndorff defeat Hulk Hogan and Jake the Snake Roberts. So, I will be right back after I am done booking tonight's show. Alright, everybody, so we are back. We have the card booked, and let's jump into it with our first match, the pre-show, the 10-man tag team match. So, in a decent pre-show match, Big John Studd, Akeem, Don Morocco, Bob Orton Jr., and the ravishing Rick Rude defeated Harley Race, the Natural Disasters, Demolition, in 9:45 when Rick Rude pinned Demolition Smash with the Rude Awakening. So the crowd is expectant and simmering. The wrestling rating got a 64. The crowd rating got a 55. The segment got a 71. Rick Rude had an 88. Bob Orton had a 54. Don Morocco had a 62. Akeem had a 58. Big John Studd had a 51. Demolition Smash had a 52. Axe had a 67. Typhoon had a 66. Earthquake had a 55. And Harley Race had a 88. Advanced the Rick Rude Harley Race. So Harley debuted not too long ago, a couple of months ago, so the turn isn't going to go too well. The color commentary lifted it. The commentary lifted it. Teddy Long did good work at ringside. Slick did good work at ringside. Akeem and Slick have pretty good chemistry. Harley Race look excellent out there. And Rick Rude look excellent out there. So we will head into our first segment of the night. In a good 6-minute interview, we saw Jesse and Vince McMahon cutting promos. The crowd is hot and rising. The segment got an 83. And advanced all our storylines. The Mr. Perfect storyline idea deployed was a success. The other storyline idea that we used was a failure, so that was kind of bad. Jesse Ventura did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd. Mr. Perfect received a morale boost because of the successful storyline idea. This angle got the crowd hotter, and it got the show off to a strong start. So, welcome everybody to another electrifying night at WWFC Superstars. And let me tell you, folks, you're in for a treat tonight. We got some of the biggest matches lined up, including what might be just one of the most intense nights in WWFC history. That's right, McMahon. Tonight's all about settling scores and raising stakes. First off, we have Pick Your Poison. Jake the Snake Roberts and the Macho King Randy Savage have hand-picked opponents for each other. Two minds playing mind games. Who knows what kind of chaos we're in for? Absolutely, Jesse. These two have been at each other's throats, and tonight could be the tipping point. And speaking of must-see matches, how about the match with the immortal Hulk Hogan, who's set to take on none other than the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, making his WWFC debut right here tonight. Now that's a matchup I'm excited for. Hogan's power against Shamrock's explosive style and that ruthless submission game. Hogan better be ready or he's going to be in for a rude awakening tonight. And that's just the beginning, folks. The Road Warriors and Hacksaw will be here to deliver a red-hot message to the New Horsemen. You know those three are coming ready to make a statement of their own. You know the Horsemen will be watching close tonight. McMahon, LOD, and Duggan don't play games. But if they want to get in the Horsemen's way, they better be prepared for a fight. But hey, let's talk titles. Indeed, tonight, WWFC World Television Championship is on the line as the Honky Tonk Man defends his title against the unpredictable, wild George the Animal Steele. Honky Tonk will have his hands full tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, Honky's been dancing around with that title, but Steele's not the kind of guy who plays by anybody's rules. If Honky underestimates him, he'll be singing the blues tonight, guaranteed. And there you have it, folks. High-stakes matches, fierce rivalries, and gold on the line. Stay tuned because WWFC Superstars is about to bring the action like never before. So it was a pretty good promo. It advanced everything that we needed to, and let's head into our first match. In a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, the Honky Tonk Man defeated George Animal Steele in 11:58 by pinfall with the shake, rattle, and roll. The Honky Tonk Man makes defense number 5 of his WWFC World Television title. The crowd at the end is hot. The wrestling rating was a 51. The crowd rating was a 54. The segment got a 59. George Steele had a 43. The Honky Tonk Man had a 60. It advanced the Boss Man, Beefcake, and Honky Tonk Man storyline. The color commentary lifted it. The commentary quality lifted it, and Jimmy Hart did some good work at ringside. So let's head up to our next promo. In an average 6-minute interview that took place backstage where Colonel Robert Parker was being interviewed, and Gene Okerlund was the interviewer, and Butch Reed was just a background player. The crowd is still hot. It advanced the Butch Reed Ronnie Garvin storyline. Gene Okerlund came out looking excellent. Colonel Robert Parker had enjoyed the freedom to perform off script. The commentary quality lifted the segment, and the color commentary lifted the segment. The segment got a 58. Well, folks, y'all better listen up because tonight's the night. My man, Butch Reed, and I have something to say here. At WrestleMania, Ronnie Garvin, you got quite the reputation to be a tough guy, but you never dealt with a powerhouse like Butch Reed. The natural Butch Reed isn't just any man, you see. He's got strength, he's got skill, and he's got the backing of the finest manager in this business, yours truly. So Garvin, I hope you're ready, boy, because at WrestleMania, you're going to be staring down a freight train that's coming your way. And when it's all said and done, Butch Reed's going to stand tall over you, Garvin. And I'll be there to watch as he proves exactly why he's the future of this business. So Garvin, lace up those boots, say your prayers, and try not to embarrass yourself too much, because the natural's coming for you. And he don't plan on leaving anything standing. So, it wasn't too bad of a promo. I mean, it could have been a lot better. Let's head into the next segment, which is a tag team match between the New Horsemen and Strikeforce. In a decent match, the New Horsemen, Barry Windham and Sid Vicious, defeated Strikeforce in 13:23 when Sid pinned Tito with the powerbomb. The crowd is now white hot. The wrestling rating was a 72. The crowd rating was a 63, and the segment got an 83. Sid had a 79. Barry had a 77. Rick Martel had a 68. Tito had a 64. It advanced our New Horseman storyline and our Rougeau and the Strike Force storyline. Barry Windham and Sid have great chemistry when teaming together. Tito and Rick showed excellent chemistry teaming together. Rick and Tito got a tag team specialist bonus. The commentary quality lifted the match. Bobby Heenan did some good work at ringside, and this match got the crowd hotter. So that is a lot better than I thought we were going to get. So let's head into our next segment, which is a promo from the Ravishing One, Rick Rude. In a good 7-minute interview that took place backstage, we saw Gene Okerlund and Rick Rude cutting promos. It advanced our Rick Rude Harley Race storyline. Rick Rude clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well. Gene Okerlund improvised well throughout the segment. The commentary lifted the segment. Well, Harley Race, the so-called King of the Ring, wants to test himself against the Ravishing One at WrestleMania. A legend thinks he's still got it. Well, Harley, let me tell you something. You've just stepped into my spotlight, and I've got no problem accepting your little challenge. But let's be real here, Harley. Your time has come and gone. And when you step into that ring with me, you're not just going up against any man. You're facing the man who's going to make sure the last thing people remember about you is how you got shown up at WrestleMania. So bring all your pride, bring all the fight you got left, Harley. Because when that bell rings, it's going to be my moment, my victory, and you'll be left with nothing but cold, hard truth that there's only one man who's truly ravishing enough to steal the show at WrestleMania. And that's me. So the segment got a 79, so that's not too bad. So let's head into our next match, which is Hulk versus Ken Shamrock. In a wild brawl that had great wrestling and good heat, Hulk Hogan defeated Ken Shamrock in 15:23 by pinfall with a big boot and leg drop. The crowd heat at the end is very hot. The wrestling rating got an 80. The crowd had a 77. The segment got an 88. Hulk Hogan had an in-ring performance of 93. Ken Shamrock had a 66. It advanced the Paul Orndorff versus Hulk Hogan storyline. And Hogan and Ken Shamrock had pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. So that's really great, actually. So, I mean, I expected a lot more from Ken Shamrock, but, I mean, it is what it is. So, let's head off to our next segment, which is the promo from the LOD and Duggan. So let's handle this change quickly. So I do have a change. His hero gimmick is awful, so I'm trying to give him a new one. The gimmick idea was a failure. Of course it was. Man. So the American Dream gimmick is poor. Gives a small penalty to star quality during matches and angles and can be used in lengthy matches. Fantastic. So another poor gimmick for him. Okay, so let's head off to the next segment now. In an average 10-minute interview that took place backstage, we saw Gene Okerlund cutting a promo, Hacksaw as a comic relief, Paul Ellering cutting a promo, Hawk and Animal as intimidation, and Sergeant Slaughter working the crowd. So the crowd is still hot. It advanced the New Horseman storyline. Hacksaw looked good. He enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and performed well in the color commentary. Looked at the segment. We got a 75 from that one. The Horsemen think they got the edge, huh? They think they can push us around and get away with it. Well, tonight, the Legion of Doom and Duggan are here to tell you otherwise. Oh, what a rush. We're not just here looking to beat them. We're looking to tear them apart. War Games isn't just a match, it's a battlefield. And we've got one more piece to the puzzle. One more soldier ready to go to war. That's right, tough guys. When it comes to fighting for what's right, we went out and got ourselves a man who knows a thing or two about discipline and honor. So listen up, horsemen, because we're bringing in the ultimate warrior for our team, a man who never backs down. And that man is Sergeant Slaughter. At ease, maggots. When the Road Warriors and Hacksaw called me, they said they needed someone who can lead this team into battle, and when it comes to war games, I'll be the drill sergeant that shows those horsemen exactly what discipline looks like. This isn't just any fight. This is a war they started and one we're gonna finish. Oh, Slaughter, they think they're so tough, but they're not gonna be smiling when the cage door locks and they're staring us down. Horsemen, you might think you're on top right now, but once that bell rings, you're trapped with us, and there's no escaping the pain that's coming your way. Horsemen, listen up. At War Games, you're facing a team that doesn't know the meaning of the word surrender. I'll make sure you're crawling out of that cage begging for mercy. Attend! Hut! Ho! It's time for war, tough guys, and we're bringing everything we got to take you down once and for all. So, the four horsemen set out their challenge last week for a War Games match, and LOD and Duggan went out and got Sergeant Slaughter, a man who was injured by, I think, Barry. He got a concussion in a match with him, so he's been out for the last month or so, and he's now made his return this week, ending up being the surprise partner for the LOD and Duggan. So let's head into our next match. Oof. In a decent match, Sergeant Slaughter defeated Tully Blanchard in 16-31 by DQ. The crowd is very hot. The wrestling rating was a 56. The crowd rating was a 56. The segment got a 62. Sarge had a 55. Tully Blanchard had a 57. The Horsemen lost heat. Tully was really off his game. The color commentary lifted it. The commentary lifted it. And Bobby Heenan did good work at ringside. So that was a little worse for wear than I thought it was going to be. But, I mean, we can at least pick it up somewhere along the way. I mean, nothing else we could really do. So let's head into the next promo, which is from Roddy Piper. In a great 8-minute angle that took place backstage, we saw Roddy Piper cutting a promo. So the crowd is very hot, and he benefited from having a hot catchphrase. The segment got a 93. Next week, I'm coming back, and I'm coming for one thing, Don Morocco. You see, Morocco, you thought you could step into the ring with the hot rod and just walk away with the victory, huh? You think because you got a little bit of muscle and a little bit of attitude, you're going to intimidate me. Well, let me tell you something, pal. It doesn't work like that in my world. I fought the best, I fought the worst, and I fought through every challenge that's been thrown my way. You, Morocco, are just another name on the list of guys who stepped into the ring with me and left with their tail between the legs. So next week, when we face off, you better be ready, because I'm not just bringing a fight. I'm bringing a beating that you won't forget. Get ready, Morocco, because when the hot rod gets his hands on you, you'll be wishing you stayed at home. After I'm done with you, nobody's going to be calling you The Rock anymore. They'll be calling you just another guy who couldn't cut it against Roddy Piper. Next week I'll be back, and there ain't nowhere for you to run, Morocco. You better get ready. So I've kind of given Piper a little bit of time off, after his match with Savage in the no DQ there at Saturday night's main event. So we'll see him in action next week. So let's head into the next match, which is one of the two Pick Your Poisons. In a bout that had great heat and good wrestling, Jake the Snake Roberts defeated Triple H in 1458 by pinfall with a DDT. The match was designed to tell a specific story, so the crowd heat was very hot. The wrestling rating was a 73, the crowd rating was an 84, and the segment got an 80. Jake had an in-ring performance of 68. Triple H had a 79. The Macho King Randy Savage versus Jake Roberts storyline has automatically advanced with the segment. The injury to Jake took a big toll, so I'm assuming he would have had at least around an 80 or so if he had not been injured still. And the commentary quality lifted the match. So let's head in to our next segment, which is just an interview of Randy Savage saying, you know what? I'm so confident that I can beat whoever Jake the Snake has picked for me that I will put my title on the line. That's right. I will put the WWFC World Heavyweight Championship on the line against whoever this opponent is. So let's head into that last match there. In an exceptional match, the Macho King Randy Savage defeated Bret the Hitman Hart in 22 minutes and 59 seconds by pinfall with the flying elbow drop. The Macho King makes defense number 3 of his WWFC World Heavyweight title. The crowd is very hot. At the end, the wrestling rating was an 89, the crowd rating was a 92, and the segment got a 99, which is our highest match we've ever had. The Macho King Randy Savage had an in-ring performance of 86. Bret Hart had a 92. The Macho King and Jake the Snake Roberts storyline advanced, and Sensational Sherry did good work at ringside. So let's finish the show here. And we got a 92. Our popularity increased in 15 regions. We would have increased in the U.S. in one region, but we don't have enough coverage, in 2 Canadian regions, but we don't have enough viewers there either as well. So let's finish everything off. The financial report, we made $650,431 off of that show. So let's check out the popularity recap. We gained 1 in the Southwest region. So that's not too bad then. Okay, so that is everything for this episode. I will see everyone in the next one.